Hi, you guys. Today we're going to be talking all about the things that I recommend for the Sephora VIB sale, which is happening November 1st through November 11th. I will have all of the Sephora sale information in the description box of this video. So if you're not quite sure when you can shop or what the code is, check out that information there. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I would love to have you. Everything that I mentioned today, I'm going to link on the screen here using the YouTube shopping feature. I will also link everything in the description box of this video as well as in a pinned comment. So hopefully it's super easy for you to shop. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so I'm going to start with complexion, of course, and we will start naturally with primers. So the first primer that I have here to talk about is from NARS, and this is the Light Reflecting Hydrating Primer. And I have really been into this. I have several of the light reflecting products in today's video, so you will see a theme here. This one is newer to the line, and by the way, you guys, ignore the fact that I am missing a nail. Just don't talk about it. I need to do my nails today. But this primer has been my go-to lately for just having like a natural hydrated base before I apply makeup that's also a little bit dewy and glowy. It feels really nice on my skin. It's easy to apply. It doesn't have any weird texture or weird feeling at all. And similarly, I wanted to mention the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. And I know this is not a new product. I actually had a couple of miniatures of this. So when I first wanted to try this product, I just bought the little size. I completely fell in love. So I ended up getting the full size recently when I was in LA. This is just going to be a great thing to add to your routine when you want a little bit of glow and dew, but you don't necessarily want to use a glowy, dewy foundation. I love applying this before my foundation. And with this product, it is a little bit more intense than something like the Light Reflecting from NARS. So it really is just going to be about preference. But usually when I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, I will go in with a hydrating primer or even just like a moisturizer. And then I'll go in with this. And the packaging is like a little doe foot applicator. So I will just kind of like swipe this all over my face. And then I will just blend it out using a brush like this that's a little bit smaller. And then I will usually go in with a foundation over top. And like I said, that is just going to give you the most natural looking glow to your skin. As far as foundations go, I really just have one major standout, and that is the Urban Decay Face Bond Waterproof Foundation. And I have talked about this so much. I did a TikTok on it, talked about it several times on Instagram and my travel vlogs. Like whenever I'm wearing this foundation, especially when I have it on for like multiple hours in the heat, I have been so impressed with this that I immediately like get on Instagram stories and talk about how great it is, because I just can't believe that this holds up the way that it does in hot weather when I'm like sweating my face off. I wore this all summer long to many different concerts and festivals, weddings. This is always my go-to. It really truly is waterproof, and it is self-setting. So it does claim to have that feature, and I would agree with that. I mean, once you apply it, it literally looks flawless, and I feel like you could go out without a powder if you wanted to. I pretty much never do that, so I probably wouldn't, but out of all of the foundations I have ever tried, I would say this is the most self-setting foundation there is. My only problem with it lately is that there's a little bit of a packaging flaw. I don't know what it is. You can see it's like a really skinny package. You can see mine has become very, very messy, and it's even messier once you open it. It's like the foundation leaks when it's not even open or being squeezed at all. It's just like it comes seeping out, and then it just creates a gigantic mess on the inside, which is very frustrating. But the weird thing is that it hasn't always done this. Like when I first got it, it was fine. It's like somewhere along the way something happened. It could totally just be this one. I'm not sure if they're all like that, but for how good this wears, especially in specific situations for events, I'm willing to look past the packaging issue, because this really is like one of my go-to foundations. Another one of my favorite complexion products for summertime specifically was the It Cosmetics Natural Matte CC Plus Cream. This is what I used on any vacation where I was going to be in the sun at all. Maybe I was going to the pool or the beach, but I just wanted a little bit of coverage while also having a good amount of SPF on my face. This is always what I chose. What I like about this one is that I just feel like I can wear this whether I want a very natural no makeup look. Like I said, I'll just go in with a very small amount, or I can just use this exact same product if I want a little bit more coverage at nighttime. For example, this was the only foundation I took with me on a cruise that I went on. So I would wear a little bit of it during the day with like not many other makeup products, but then at nighttime when we were going to dinner, I would just add a little bit more and then do eyeshadow, brows, mascara, and all of that. It's been one that I can literally throw in my travel bag and I know I'm going to be good to go. For concealer, I wanted to mention this one from House Labs. This is a great full coverage concealer that's still creamy and comfortable on your skin, especially as I get older. It's really important for me to find a concealer that sits well underneath my eyes. Yes, I still want it to be full coverage because I do have a lot of discoloration around my eyes, but more importantly, I want the texture to look nice under my eyes, and I feel like this one really does. I've been very impressed with it. It's what I have on today. Next, let's talk powders, and there are kind of a lot of powders that I want to go through, but I feel like powders are having a moment lately. For the newer ones, I'm going to mention this one first because I know you guys are hearing it in every recommendations video. It is the Makeup by Mario loose powder. Everyone is obsessing over it. It is a really great powder. It's very fine, so it goes on beautifully. It really does have that blurring effect that it says it's supposed to have. This is called the Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder. I got the shade Neutral Light. I think mostly what stands out about this one is the texture. Like I said, it's very finely milled, so it just kind of glides on effortlessly. So if you have really been wanting to try this powder, I think you're gonna like it. I don't see really how anyone would not like it. I think it's great on any area of your face. I do want to mention another one that is a little less expensive, and I think it's kind of just as good though. I've not heard many people talk about this. It is the Iconic London Velvet Blur Translucent Setting Powder, and I really think this performs very similarly to the Makeup by Mario powder. And the Makeup by Mario retails for $38 and the Iconic London retails for $29. So there is a little bit of savings right there. If you want to go for the more affordable option, I think you would be happy with this one as well. And this one actually comes with a little powder puff, which I think is kind of nice. I do use this from time to time, like on certain areas of my face, like my chin or my forehead, but you can see the powder there. I mean, the texture is really, really similar. This one is also very finely milled, glides on your face beautifully. Like I have been using this non-stop before I got the Makeup by Mario, and honestly, I was kind of like, oh, they're the same. The OG for me is the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. This baby is $52 though. I feel like this is like the mothership of translucent setting powders. If you have followed my channel at all, you know I've talked about this for definitely over 5 years, ever since I've been on YouTube. This is actually their newer version. I started with the original one and I love that one as well. I think they're actually very similar. This one is their newer one that is the Ultra Blur version. As you can see, there's a huge theme of blurring powders lately, but the Laura Mercier Ultra Blur has actually been out for at least a year or two, so this one is still kind of like the OG even in that category. If you want a matte finish to your makeup that is not going anywhere, your makeup is set, you look flawless, you look blurred, I cannot recommend this powder enough. I know it's a little bit more expensive, but it is still always going to be my favorite. Speaking of blurring, this has become a staple in my routine. This is by Pat McGrath, and I think it's called their Blurring Under Eye Powder or something like that. I use it every single time I do my makeup. So with a powder like this, I will usually put it on after I do my full face of powder. I'll just take a little bit and apply it right underneath my eyes. And I'll also apply it after I do my blush. I find that it's really helpful after that step. Because you know when you're doing your blush, like you want it really high up, but sometimes it'll just get too close to your eyes. So this is like a really nice powder to just pop right underneath your eyes and just give that blurring effect so nothing looks misplaced on your face. It really is a great blurring powder for any imperfections, for touching up. I don't just use it under my eyes. I think it's great for that, but it's also, like I said, great for any area of your face for touch-ups. And the last powder I have to mention is the NARS Light Reflecting Powder. This one is definitely a niche powder. I don't think that it's absolutely necessary in your collection, but if you love a glowy look, I think that you're going to like this. It really does just do something for your makeup. I don't know what it is. It's not shimmery or glittery, but it really does reflect the light. It is is crazy. So I like to use this a lot of times when I'm filming because I obviously have a lot of lights, and I will just kind of like pop this on where I would put highlighters. So on my cheekbones, sometimes on my chin, on my nose, really any of those places. And I just think that it adds a really nice, like, healthy glow to your skin. It can kind of bring your skin back to life in a way. While we're talking about complexion, I guess I will go ahead and mention a couple of setting sprays. This one is also from the NARS Light Reflecting line. And the same thing with this, I feel like it does exactly what it says it's going to do. And that is to reflect the light. It's not shimmery or anything. It just gives you that healthy, hydrated complexion that you're looking for. Same with the powder. I'll use this a lot of times when I'm filming because I do feel like it just makes my skin look more skin-like, and that's great for anything where you are going to be on video or you're taking photos. And the other setting spray I've been really liking is from Freck Beauty, and this is the Blur and Bond setting spray. It's called the Face Hack. I feel like blur is such a hot word in the makeup industry, and does it really blur? I don't know. I don't really think that a setting spray can completely blur your face, but what I will say about this one and why I feel like they gave it that name is just because I feel like out of any of the setting sprays that I've tried recently, this one does such a good job at just kind of like melting everything together. So if you have like any harsh lines or anything that you're not loving, I really do feel like once I spray this, my makeup all just kind of looks seamlessly applied together. Whereas I have a lot of other setting sprays that kind of sit on top of the skin and don't really do much for me, or maybe they even break up my makeup. But this one I feel like really works well with your makeup and enhances it. Moving on to eyes, I have a few palettes that I wanted to mention. Two of them are from Natasha Denona. Are we surprised? Not at all. If you are going to get nothing else, I would recommend a Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette. You cannot go wrong. Every single shadow that she comes out with is just like gold. Speaking of gold, one of them that I have to mention is the Golden palette. And this is such a pretty palette, but as you can see, it definitely does get dirty. It has lots of fingerprints on it, but it has like this wavy texture that I think is really cool. And here is the Golden palette. As you can see, I've really been loving this one. I have used this so much ever since I got it. I feel like the neutrals are great for every day. It's a lot of lighter neutrals, so if you have fair skin, I think you're really going to love this. It is pretty neutral, but I feel like you can do a lot of different looks with it. You could use the darker shade here. You could just do like a really cool gold shimmer across the entire lid. And the quality of her shadows are just the best in the market, in my opinion. And this is the I Need a Warm palette. So this was released after the Golden palette. I actually have the I Need a Warm palette on today. I truly think that any one of you guys watching this would love this palette. It's great for all skin tones. You can do so many different looks with this. It is just the best neutral palette on the market, in my opinion, especially if you like warm tones, which most people do tend to lean towards warm tones when it comes to doing their eyeshadow. It's just a universally flattering color palette, and you have a great mix of mattes and shimmers in this palette. A good mix when it comes to lighter and darker shades. Like I said, this is what I have on my eyes today, and it just performs beautifully every single time. If you don't really need a palette that big, I recently picked up this one from Charlotte Tilbury, and I love this. This is the Pillow Talk Dreams luxury palette. It just has 4 eyeshadows, and once again, this is like a great neutral palette. This is probably going to make it in my gift guides this year because I think that this is just such a great palette for anyone, any age range, no matter how experienced with makeup you are. I think that anyone could use this. It has 2 shimmer shades, 2 matte shades. The matte shades are a little bit darker, but I find that Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows specifically are very easy to work with. They just blend out effortlessly, and I love eyeshadow quads because there's really no thought process involved. You just take one of the mattes, put it in the crease, take one of the shimmers, put it on your lid, and you are good to go. You have a full eye look, and it turns out beautiful every time. Quickly for eyes, I just wanted to mention my everyday go-to black eyeliner. I use this non-stop in my waterline. It's from Make It by Mario. It's just the best one that I have found. It has a little brush on one of the ends here, which I think is convenient. I don't use it too often, but if you do love a smudged liner look, you could. And then here is the eyeliner. You can see mine is very well loved. And all of the Make It by Mario lip pencils and eye pencils come with their own sharpener, which is very convenient. And then the mascara I have been loving lately is the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. I feel like you guys have probably already heard of this. Everyone uses this mascara, it feels like, but it really is a great one. I just feel like it lengthens and separates my lashes really, really well. I will say I do usually use this in combination with another mascara that is more for volumizing. I feel like this one is great for lengthening specifically, but it's very black. It stays put all day. And I love the wand on this one too. I feel like it's very easy to work with. It's kind of like a curved wand, so it really gets in there at the base of your lashes to lift them. Next, we have a couple of brow products I've been loving from Benefit. This is the Precisely My Brow Wax. It has a slightly larger wand to it, and I just love the pigment that this gives to my brows. So if I'm just going for like a no makeup day and I just want to use something that gives my brows a little bit of shape and a little bit of color, this is what I will reach for. I feel like Benefit does a great job at nailing the color range. I find that they are one of the only brands where the brow color actually looks like my hair color. As a brunette, I feel like it can be hard to find a good brown that's not too ashy, but it's also not too red tone. So I really like the coloring of this one, and I just like let it catch my hairs. Don't go in too aggressively because this is very pigmented and it's kind of a wet product. So you just want to let it catch your brow hairs and gently stroke upwards to separate your brow hairs and lift them up a little bit. If you don't really want color, but you want something to volumize your brows, this is a really nice product from Benefit. It is the Fluff Up Brow Wax. So this one is kind of similar, but it's clear. And as the name suggests, this one is kind of like a textured wax consistency. But this one is great, like I said, to add volume to your brows, make them actually fluff up a little bit, and also add structure. So a couple of like bronzer and contour products. I wanted to mention the Rare Beauty Cream Contour Stick. This is once again not new, but something that I've kind of rediscovered, and I've been using this nonstop. I originally grabbed it out of my bronzer drawer because I was traveling and I was like, you know what, this is like a really compact product, great to travel with, and ever since I got back from my trip, I've continued to use it. It's just a really nice cream bronzer, so I just apply a little bit directly to my face just like that. I am wearing this product today, and it is so creamy, very, very creamy, very easy to blend out. I am wearing the shade Full of Life, and I usually just take a brush that looks like this, that's a little bit more narrow, and that's what I use to really blend the product out and upwards. I also use it at my jawline and around my forehead. Very nice product. They have great shades. It lasts a long time, and it's just so easy to use. I love it. And then for a powder bronzer, I've been very into the YSL All Hours Hyper Bronze. Number one, the packaging is adorable. That's probably why I purchased it, if I'm being honest, but this really is a great bronzer. It is so easy to work with. It is very pigmented. For this one, I'll usually use a fluffier brush like this and just apply it in the same place. Sometimes I'll even use this to set my cream bronzer. That's what I did today. Or I'll use this one down my neck. It's really good for that too. Or if I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to mess with a cream bronzer, which is most days, I will just go in with this exactly how I would use a cream bronzer. The color is great. It's not too muddy, not too ashy. I know it is a little bit more expensive, but if you have been looking for like that staple bronzer, that one's a great one. Moving on to everyone's favorite category, which is blushes. I'm going to start with powder blushes. I have two formulas here. The first one is a specific shade from Patrick Ta. This is the shade Not Too Much. I feel like this was viral a couple months ago, but I truly have been using this nonstop ever since it came out. The name is absolutely perfect because this really is the blush that I go to when I don't really know what else to do. I'm just looking for a very natural, easy makeup look. This is perfect. I go in with the powder shade first all over and really apply that kind of heavily. The thing about this shade in particular is it's not going to look heavy at all. It just looks like the perfect amount of blush on your face. And then as Patrick Ta suggests, I usually go in with the cream shade over top of the powder, and it's so beautiful. It is the most perfect universal blush shade. These are nothing new. I've mentioned these before on my channel, but I love them. They're always a bestseller. You guys have tried them too. So if you have tried them per my recommendation, let me know in the comment section. But these are the Give Beauty blushes. I originally got this shade, which is Crush on You. And this is kind of like a duo blush formula, but these are actually both powder blushes. So if you're not into the cream blush, this is going to be a great product for you. This one is like a little bit shimmery and this one is matte. Even the shimmer shade though, it's not too much at all. It's not glittery or going to look like a highlighter. It's just so pretty on the skin. This one I keep up in my everyday makeup bag in my bathroom that I can just throw on very easily. It's like one of those blushes that I know it goes with any look. And then I love that one so much, I picked up this one in the shade Flirty Talk. And I know this shade looks intimidating, you guys, but this is probably my most used blush in the past 6 months. It is so pretty. If I want my cheeks to just pop, but also just look so delicate, I use this. The shade is not as intense intense as it looks. It's not going to be like one of those insane poppy blushes that make you look like a cartoon character. This one really does apply so naturally. These blushes I feel like anyone can wear. So if you are a beginner to makeup, if you are not into crazy blush, these are going to be for you because they're easy to work with even for beginners. Speaking of liquid blushes, if you are into those, I have two recommendations that are very user friendly. The first formula is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blurring Serum Blushes. So these come in these little tubes and I have 3 shades here. This is Guava, Hibiscus in the middle, and Peach here on the end. They're all pretty similar, but these are my favorite shades. I find that the darker shades don't really work as well in this formula. And these blushes are interesting when it comes to the packaging. They literally look like a skincare serum, but I do not apply this directly to my cheeks. I do not recommend doing that. You're going to get a crazy, weird, very pigmented cheek if you do that. What I do is I put a little bit on the back of my hand here. You do not need much of this product at all, and that's a good thing because it will last you a really long time. I usually just dab it around like that on my hand, and at that point I will go in with my blush brush, dab it on that product, and then apply it to my cheeks. And when they say blurring, they mean blurring. This applies beautifully over top of powders or any other products you have on your face, and it truly does look blurring on the skin. And another very similar option is by Giorgio Armani. This is the Luminous Silk Cheek Tint. This one is in the shade 50.5. I will put the shade name down below, but this is kind of similar to the Give Beauty blush as far as the peachy tone. And I'm gonna say it again, I know this looks intimidating, but this is such a flattering shade if you have a similar skin tone to me. And this is also a very easy to work with liquid blush formula. This is what the applicator looks like on this one. I usually do the same thing because I just hate applying a liquid blush directly to my cheeks. I will say this one is not as bad for that. You could do a couple of dabs if you work quickly, but when you very first try it, I would recommend just applying it to your hand. That's always a safe bet, and then applying. I feel like that's just going to give you the most seamless application, especially if you're applying over top of powder. As far as highlighters, I only have a couple of recommendations, and the first is from Sephora Collection. These are a great affordable highlighter option. I actually got these because I heard Cheryl from Makeup by Cheryl here on YouTube recommend them, and I have loved them ever since. So I have 2 shades here. This one is in the shade Iced Pearl, and then we have Sparkling Honey, which is probably my favorite just because this one is a little bit of a warmer tone. I feel like it matches my skin tone better, so it looks really natural. So we have Iced Pearl here and then Sparkling Honey beside it. These are just a very fine highlight formula, which makes them really sink into the skin nicely. Instead of just sitting on top of your skin, I feel like they really melt into the makeup you already have on, and they look so natural. And another great thing about these is that they are so thin. So these are great to travel with. I don't have to worry about them being super heavy or taking up a lot of space. And then the other highlight product I have is from Natasha Denona. This is the Golden Highlighter Trio. If you are just looking for one product that has a few different shades, well, okay, that just totally popped out of nowhere. So I guess proceed with caution, but I do really like the shades in here because you kind of get a more icy one, a more gold one, and then a darker gold one. And I just have really enjoyed all 3 of these. So that is unfortunate. I'm gonna have to try to put that back in the palette. But if you are looking for a highlighter palette, I do like that one. Moving on to lips, I wanted to mention a couple different lip liners. The first lip liner I have mentioned a million times, and that is by Anastasia. They make the best classic wooden lip liner. These stay put all day long. The pigment is perfect. They're easily sharpened. I just can't say enough good things about these. I have them in so many colors. I'm wearing the Anastasia lip liner in the shade Deep Taupe today, which is definitely one of my most used for fall. You can see I mostly have nude shades here, but every single one of them are incredible. So here are 4 of the shades I own. We have Hazelnut, Mocha, Deep Taupe, and Malt. All beautiful nude shades. Just depends on which tone you're looking for, really. I've also really been liking the Makeup Forever waterproof lip liner. This one is in the shade Anywhere Caffeine. It's a nice warm nude. There it is swatched. That's another really good one. It is a lot more creamy than these. I feel like the Anastasia, you have a little bit more control. It's easier to get a very precise line around your lips. This one, because it's so creamy, I do have to focus a little bit more, but because it is waterproof, once you get it laid down correctly, it's going to stay put. For lipsticks, I have a few recommendations recommendations here. First, I want to mention these from Anastasia. They are the lip velvets, and these are beautiful, you guys. Like, such a unique formula. They are a true matte finish, and they really do look like velvet. They are such a cool texture. I will say these don't last all day long, so if you do wear something like this, you're going to have to touch it up. But I think what you're paying for when you get something like this is that unique texture. I mean, it looks so pretty, especially during fall. It really does look like fabric or suede on your lips. So we have pink sand here, which is the lightest one. We have parchment in the middle, which is great for fall. And then this is rose mauve here on the end. Another liquid lipstick that I love is the Dior formula. These are the Dior Forever liquid lipsticks. I have two shades, and whenever I wear these, a lot of you guys always ask me what I'm wearing on my lips. So I thought now would be a great time to mention them. These stay put on my lips for a really long time, which is exactly what I look for if I'm purchasing a liquid lipstick. They do have a wet formula right when you put them on, and then it's going to dry down to a matte liquid lipstick formula. The colors are really nice. I will say I feel like they always look a little bit darker in person. That's why I first got this shade, which is shade 200, and I was really expecting it to be like an everyday nude, but it's actually more of like a deeper burgundy like fall shade. So that's when I went back and got shade 100, which I do like for more of an everyday nude. So we have 100 right here, and then this is shade 200. Both gorgeous, just obviously for different reasons. Another lipstick that I've been loving is this one from Charlotte Tilbury. It's just like their classic lipstick, but this is in the shade Very Victoria. It's like a great, deeper, everyday nude. I saw this in a Charlotte Tilbury store, and I immediately picked it up simply because of the shade. I mean, look how gorgeous that is. Truly the perfect nude. I know so many people say that, and so many lipsticks claim that, but this shade is truly gorgeous, and I feel like it would work on anyone. And I do love Charlotte Tilbury's lipstick formula. They are creamy enough to be comfortable, but they're stiff enough to stay put on your lips. Lip glosses, we have another Anastasia recommendation. These lip glosses have been the ones in my handbags, in my car, like literally wherever I am, these lip glosses are there too. They're just great, easy, no-brainer options. I have a few shades here. This one is just the clear one. Obviously, great to have a clear gloss every now and then. Then we have this one here, which is kind of like a white sparkly shade. It's in the shade Honey Diamond. Once you apply it, it's definitely like a clear gold shimmer. And then I've really been liking this pink one. It's just in the shade Soft Pink. Even if I'm not doing a pink lip, I find that this shade really just does something to warm up my lips or just give a little bit of color. So if I do a nude and I'm like, that is like a little too nude, it makes me look dead almost, I'll throw on this gloss, and it's sheer enough to not be overly pink, but it does add just a little bit of color. Both of these shades are beautiful, and I also have one that's like a champagne sparkly color that I love. It must be up in a purse somewhere too. That is like my favorite lip gloss of all time. You cannot go wrong with it, so I will link that one as well. I always love my Fenty Beauty Gloss Bombs. You cannot go wrong with these, you guys. If you've not tried them and you want to know what to spend your money on that you're actually going to use, it has to be a Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb. They are the best lip glosses ever. So silky smooth on your lips. They come in so many amazing shades and formulas. I would recommend to you just the OG formula. It's the one that I feel the most comfortable saying you are going to love it. I'm wearing the shade Riri today, which is beautiful. It's like a gorgeous nude pink, but it has a nice gold shimmer in there that's very subtle. And they actually have a gift set right now that I think comes with like a lip liner, a liquid lipstick, and this gloss, all in the shade Riri. And I might pick that up myself because I love this shade, and you can't go wrong with any of the Fenty Beauty lip products. Some super affordable glosses that I've been loving are these from Sephora Collection. These are both plumping glosses. So this one is the Outrageous Intense. It is like a really creamy formula. Like, it's not going to be the most glossy looking gloss that you've ever worn, but I still really love the shade. It's like a pinky pearl. And then this one is in a really cool red shade. It is the Outrageous Effect Volume Plumping Effect. This is in the shade 10. The pinky pearl was in the shade 02. This one I wanted to grab to pair over top of my red lipsticks. It's so sparkly and pretty. It just like catches the light so beautifully. And like I said, these are a great affordable option. Everything from Sephora Collection is 30% off during the sale. And then I wanted to mention a couple of lip balms. And the first one I have in a little set here from Summer Fridays. This is the Summer Fridays, the Mini Neutrals Lip Butter Balm set. I think this is a great gift idea. I actually got it as a gift during the YouTube event that I went to in LA. And I was so excited because I love love the Summer Fridays lip balms. I have this one that I wear all the time when I'm down here in my studio. It is in vanilla, and you do get vanilla in this set. You also get vanilla beige, iced latte, and brown sugar. Just a great little neutral aesthetic lip balm set, and I think the miniatures are actually great. Number one, they are so stinking cute, but also when you are just going on the go, and we have all of these little tiny handbags these days, this is really all you need. Another lip balm that I love is by Ole Henriksen. It is their Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment. This one is a little bit thicker, but I still love it just as much. I usually just wear this on its own completely. I first got this one in Strawberry Sorbet, which I love. It smells great, and it has like a very slight pinkish tint to it, but they recently came out with this one, which is in Creme Brulee, and you'll have to excuse the bite marks because my dog got a hold of this one, but thank God he did not open it because I love this lip balm. This one has been the one in my handbag every single day lately. It's neutral, it goes with any lip color, it's just perfect. I did want to mention a couple tools because it's a great time to get any brushes on sale, especially the ones from Sephora Collection. I love any of the Sephora Collection crease brushes. I have the Pro Crease 26 brush here. This one is a little bit fluffier, great for just applying that base color. And then this is the Pro Crease 19, which is a little bit more tapered, and this is great for applying a darker shade in the outer corner. This is another Sephora Collection brush that I love. It is the Pro Airbrush number 55, but this I mostly use for bronzer. I'll kind of use it at an angle and just go in like that, or if you want a lot more coverage, you can go in with it flat, but it's just really nice to have like a big fat fluffy brush like this for bronzer sometimes, especially if you want to like bring it down your neck and chest. Two brushes that I love that are not from Sephora Collection. This one is from Makeup by Mario. It is an eyeshadow brush. I quite literally use this every single day. It's just a flat shader brush on one end, and then the other end is pointed, great for underneath your lower lash line. So I'll do a dark shade underneath with this end, and then I use this end every single day to apply my lid shades. It's perfect. And then the other one is a concealer brush from Rare Beauty. I've really been into using a concealer brush lately, and this one is a really nice one. It's just super dense. It's a little more stiff than other brushes that I've used before, but I find that that really helps me pack the product in exactly where I want it. So if I'm looking for a really full coverage look, I usually use a brush like this. Really quickly, I only have a couple things for hair. The first being this Living Proof Vanishing Oil. It is so easy to use because so many hair oils are either too thick or too thin. I feel like they don't do enough, or I feel like they weigh my hair down, but this one truly is like silk going onto your hair. It almost feels like a dry oil if you've ever used that. Like you rub it in and then you put it in your hair and then you don't really have any residue on your hands. It's great. It also smells incredible like most Living Proof products. I just love their hair products. I think it's important to put a hair oil on your ends every single day or every other day. Like your ends just can't get enough oil, you guys. And this is definitely something I would recommend. I have not even opened mine yet, but I got this when I was on a trip recently. It is the Sephora Favorites Holiday Hair Must-Haves. Honestly, all of their little must-have kits this year are amazing. Like I've been so impressed with them. I love the little bags you get with them. This one comes with like a red Sherpa bag that is so cute, but I was really interested in all of the products inside here. You have the Amika Bond Repair Mask, which I've really been wanting to try. Full size Color Wow Extra Large Bombshell Volumizer, the Day Fairy Duster Dry Shampoo, the Jizu Honey Infused Hair Perfume, the Kerastase Hair Oil Living Proof Texture Spray, which is another one of my favorites, the Moroccan Oil Treatment, the Orbe Gold Lust Mask, the Sol de Janeiro Milky Leave-In Conditioner, which I've tried and it's great, and the Vegamore Hydrate Leave-In Conditioner. I felt like for $46, that was a pretty good deal, and I've really been into hair care. If I do a Sephora haul video, which I definitely will, you guys will see a lot of hair care in there because I feel like I'm ready to start my hair journey and get my natural hair to be as healthy as it can be. So yeah, I'm really excited to try out all of those things. Let's move on to fragrance. I'm gonna try to run through the rest of this quickly because I feel like we've been here all day, but I'm gonna start with some body mists. First up is a new one from Sol de Janeiro. This is their Chorizo 76. It just smells perfumey, but in a body mist form. So it's very elevated. It's very sultry, a little musky. It has notes of midnight jasmine, black currant, and amber woods. A great fall scent and more of a nighttime body mist, which I feel like is rare. And then I had to mention this again. This is like my favorite body mist that I've purchased in 2024. Oh my God, it is so good. This is the Fleur Mango Mood. If I could have a signature scent, it would be this. It's so amazing. I've recommended it a million times now, but I just had to do it again because if you've heard me talking about it and and you haven't gotten your hands on it, I really would recommend doing so now when you can get a discount. It is fruity, so I definitely wore this a lot more during the summertime, but because it has a little bit of that musk in it, I do think this is something that you could move into fall. You're immediately hit with the mango fruity vibes, and then afterwards you get hit with the musky kind of sexy vibes. It's so good. It's unique to any other fragrance that I have in my collection, so I cannot say enough good things about it. Top notes are black currant, pink pepper, and mango. Lots of perfume recommendations. First, I want to talk about the Charlotte Tilbury More Sex perfume. As the name suggests, this is just a really sexy perfume, great for date night. It's a little bit smoky almost, so I definitely think this is going to be great for fall. The notes are going to be black pepper oil, leather accord, and musk. Kind of similar, this one is from Kayali. It is the Oudgasm Vanilla Oud. This one is also very smoky and sexy, but because you have that vanilla in there, I feel like it also has a touch of sweetness to it, whereas the More Sex is like completely musky. But if you kind of like dabbling in muskier scents for fall, but you want it to have a little bit of like a feminine touch, I think that you're going to really like this one. And Kayali fragrances, I feel like, are priced very well. Another great one for fall is Replica Coffee Break. This one is also in the warm and sweet gourmand family. This does actually smell a lot like coffee, but it's not overpowering. It still has like that creamy and cozy feel to it, which I love. This is just such a fall fragrance. So if you are looking for something that really exemplifies the season, I think this is it. It truly just makes me want to cuddle up by a fire and roast marshmallows. It's amazing. For the notes, you're going to have coffee accord, a little bit of lavender, and milk mousse accord. Two of like my all-time favorites this year have been Tom Ford Lost Cherry. This has been a favorite for years, but it is like such a good scent. If you like cherry scents, oh my god, you're going to want to wear this every day of your life, but it's so expensive, you're not going to want to. But if you do have a little bit of a bigger budget this year and you want to get a discount on a nice fragrance, I really recommend this one. It's so good. It's a little bit of a sweeter cherry, but it is so potent, like in a good way. This will be on your clothes for days. Like if you want someone to be like, what are you wearing? It is this. It is so good. And I'll also link a couple of gift sets they're doing this year. I think they have one that includes the fragrance and a travel fragrance. And this is one that I picked up this year, but I immediately fell in love with it. I will say this is probably more of a spring summer fragrance. It is the Daisy Wild by Marc Jacobs. First of all, the packaging is just gorgeous. This is going to be in the fruity florals family. It has notes of banana blossom, jasmine, and vetiver. I feel like the banana really shines through in this scent, but it doesn't feel cheap at all because it has that floral mixed in. It just allows the banana scent to present itself in such a sophisticated way. It lasts so long on my skin. And once again, I feel like this is one that's very unique. I don't have a lot of fragrances that smell like this, especially for banana, because a lot of people don't use that in fragrances. And the ones that do, from my experience, have been just like overpowering banana. It smells like banana boat or something. That's what you don't want. But this one is just like a sophisticated, more floral version. I love it. It's not overly floral either, because I'm not usually a big floral girl. And then lastly, in fragrance, I did want to mention that Glossier has two new perfumes out. I love the original Glossier You scent, so I was super excited to try these two new ones. This one in the cream bottle is Glossier You Do. This one is also a very earthy and woody scent. The notes are sweet violet, Palo Santo, and Ambrox, which are very interesting. I don't really have a lot of scents with that combination. If you want to kind of dabble in earthy and woody scents, but you don't know where to start, I think this one is a good option. It is a little bit more subtle in my opinion. It still kind of has like a twinge of sweetness, and I'm getting like a little bit of that Santal scent too, or something very similar, but it is subtle. Out of the two, I think this one would be my favorite. This one is the Glossier You Rev perfume. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but this one is a warm and spicy gourmand scent, so a little bit sweeter. The notes here are going to be buttercream, plum butter, and Ambrox. This one is incredible. I think you guys are going to love it. It's so sweet and sexy. Like, I just feel like if you love a gourmand sweet scent, but you want to just switch it up a little bit for fall, this is it, because it does have a little bit of that warm and spicy undertone, but ultimately it is a sweet scent. It's really nice, and I feel like the buttercream really shines through because this smells like cake to me, but with like a sultry adult twist to it. Once again, very unique for my collection, so I'm obsessed. I love fragrance. Oh my gosh. Okay, last category, let's talk about skincare. First, I want to mention several skincare sets that I think are amazing from Glow Recipe. Any of them featuring their serums you cannot go wrong with. So this is the Serum Superstars. You get the Cloudberry Bright Essence Toner, which is great for brightening your skin if you have dark spots. I use that one a lot. Another one of my favorites, the Plump Plump Hyaluronic Acid Serum. You have the Strawberry Smooth Salicylic Acid Serum. And then you, of course, have the Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops. So popular. This is another great set. So you get the Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Hue Drops, which are basically just like the Niacinamide Dew Drops, but they have a little bit of a bronzy tone. You get the Plump Plump Hyaluronic Cream, which is one of my favorites I'll talk about in a minute, and then also the Watermelon Glow Toner. A couple other Glow Recipe products I really quickly wanted to mention is the Plump Plump Hyaluronic Cream. This has been one of my favorite moisturizers as of recently. It's more of like a water-based formula, I would say, which I typically don't purchase, but upon trying this one, it really does hydrate very well because of that hyaluronic acid element. Not only is it going to feel good on your skin, but it's actually going to be putting in the work overnight to hydrate your skin and bring moisture back to your skin. And it's kind of cooling on your skin, which I appreciate. And then a newer serum from them is the Blackberry Retinol Blemish Serum. So I've really been wanting to incorporate more retinol into my routine. So I was really excited to see this product from them. I've only been using it for about a month, but I do really like it. I think that the best thing that Glow Recipe does is their serums. All of their serums actually work. I can literally notice a difference if I stop using them, which tells me they are really working. And this one is supposed to reduce texture, unclog your pores, and reduce blemishes. These are still my favorites. I've mentioned these several times, but I thought I would throw them in here. They are both completely empty, so I need to repurchase these during the sale. They are by Ole Henriksen. It is the Strength Trainer Peptide Boost Moisturizer. It feels bouncy and creamy on your skin. So this one is not a water base. I don't know if you can see because it's literally completely gone. But if you're looking for a moisturizer, you guys, please try this one. It makes your skin feel bouncy immediately upon application. It actually hydrates your skin, but it also strengthens your skin at the same time. And if I'm really feeling dry, what I will do is add a couple drops of this Hydro Barrier Nourishing Face Oil into the moisturizer. And that's just like an elite combination. You can see I'm out of this one as well, so I need to repurchase her, but this is like a great, easy to use oil. It's not gonna leave your skin feeling gross. I find that when I use these two together, my skin feels really nice and moisturized and plump, but it also feels clean. I think this is my last thing, but this is a product from Tula, which I have not used Tula in years, to be honest, but I've been having an issue with blackheads on my chin and around my nose specifically, and I just felt like I could never get those areas smooth enough or clear of blackheads. Like no matter what I did, I was just having makeup cling around my nose. It just wasn't feeling clean no matter how many times I cleansed my skin. And I remembered I had a blackhead scrub, so I was like, let me find that. And I pulled it out of my collection and started using this in the shower. Every single time I shower, I use a little bit of this just on my chin and around my nose. And I was shook, you guys. I was like, why have I not used this sooner? This is amazing. It is the So Poreless Deep Exfoliating Blackhead Scrub. I got out of the shower and I was like, oh my God, I actually feel like my skin is clean. Like it looks clean, it feels clean, my pores aren't clogged anymore. And I kid you not, every day that I use this, when I apply my makeup over top, it feels like glass. My skin feels like glass, my makeup applies smoother. It has like little beads in there to physically exfoliate. The physical exfoliants are pink salt, volcanic sand, and witch hazel, which I think is really what helps with the blackheads. But it also has other really good ingredients in there like probiotics, raspberry leaf, and pomegranate. I don't know what the heck is in it. All I know is that it worked for me immediately and I was sold. And that is it, you guys. I know this was a long video, so if you stuck it out with me this far, leave me a lipstick emoji in the comment section down below so I know who my true girlies are. But thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Let me know what you guys are picking up from the Sephora sale. I'm always looking for new recommendations from you, and I'm excited to see what we all pick up. I will be filming a Sephora haul video, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!